This conference will now be recorded.
So, good morning, everyone. Okay. So let's get started. I think yesterday we have seen the commands, few commands of Docker. So let's continue from there. We have seen inspect, okay, info, import, images, history, and export, exec, events, diff, create, copy. I think events I've already shown you the real-time events of the particular Docker. exec is like alternative option in order to log into your container. So let's go to another command. It's like kill. Okay. So let's say you want to kill the container. Okay. So Docker, let's see the ps command. So here these are the Docker containers which are running right now. Okay. Now if I want to kill this container, so what I will do, I will use Docker kill, and here I need to specify the container ID. Okay. So here you can see that. Here we need to specify the container. So either it can be the ID or you can specify the name. Anything will be accepted. Okay. So at a time you can kill multiple containers. Okay. Kill in the sense it's like force shutdown. Okay. A termination. Okay, without proper shutdown. Okay, you will kill in the sense it will, whatever the state of the container it is, it will try to stop the container immediately. Okay, so that is all about kill. Okay, so if you want, you can pass a signal. What signal you want, you can pass it. Okay, so by default, it will use -9. Okay, so that is what it will do. Okay, um, anything else? Okay, we don't have anything right now. So that's all about kill. Okay, if you want to kill the containers, then you need to use docker kill and the container name. Okay, or ID. So what is load? Load an image from a tar, archive, or string. Already told you. Let's say if you want to create an image, there is another option which I explained. Okay. So load is like to create an image from the tar archive. Similar to this. Where is that? Yeah, import. Okay. How we use in import, right? Import the context from the tar bar to create a file system image. Okay. So this is similar to your load. Load an image from the tar archive. If you want to create an image from the tar bar, in the sense the zip file, so then we need to use load. Okay. So the command will be docker load, and we need to specify the tar bar. Okay. So that is what it is mentioned. So login, logout in the sense, let's say I will tell you a few things. Okay. So this will come under when you discuss about Docker Hub. Okay. Or if you want to create your own registry. Okay. So we'll discuss later on this. Okay. There are four topics totally. One is attach, build, and then login and logout. Okay. These things we can discuss later. Let's go to the next options. Logs in the sense, if you want to look at the logs of the container, so you can use, instead of logging into the container and see the logs, so directly we can use Docker logs and the container name. So these are the logs of the container. So what you have executed, you can see this logs. See, we executed when we created a container, we executed this command aptf and get update. After that, I installed curl and Apache 2 of that container, and after that, what I have done, yeah, I have created one page, and after that, I exited. So this is what I have done in the container so far. Started Apache web server, and if you want to see another container, let's say it is. See, this is what I have done. I just logged into this container. You can see what I have done is like I executed update command host hyphen I IP space a command for two times I executed, and then I gave update command. That's it. So this is what I have done for that particular container. So logs will give you the entire information what you have done after logging to the container and exit from the container. Okay. So that is what it will try to show you. Logs. Pause in the sense, let's say if you want to hang the process which is running in the container, all the processes which are running in the container, then we need to use pause. Okay, just to hold so that none of the requests will come into the container. Okay, it's like hold. Okay, again, if you want to continue, again, you need to use resume. Where is it? Unpause. Sorry, we need to use unpause. Okay, unpause all the process within one or more containers. If you want to pause the container, just you need to use pause. Okay. So what is port? Port in the sense list port mapping or a specific mapping of the container. If you want to see what kind of port mapping we have done for a container, we need to use this port. So if you want to see, you can see this port mapping which we have done. Normally we used to get in Docker PS command here itself. Okay. If you want only this specific information, then we need to give Docker port and the container name. So let's say if I use another one, it is not listing anything because we don't have any port forwarding assigned to this particular container. Okay, so that is all about your port. Then ps command we already know. Pull in the sense to pull the images. Push in the sense to push the images. Push images you will identify when we discuss about Docker login and Docker logout. Okay, I'll tell you that also. Then Docker rename. To rename a container, already shown you this experiment. Let us say if I want to rename this particular container, let us say from this to something else, let us say Docker rename. Okay, okay. we can say have renamed my container to from Teja to Sudams. Okay, so that is all about rename of the container. Okay, now sorry. So we have rename restart. If you want to restart the container, then we have a restart command itself. Okay, which will restart your container. Normal, how we do a normal restart of the server, right? Same thing. If you want to restart your container, then Docker restart and the container. That's it. RM in the sense to remove the containers. RMI is to remove the images. That's it. Just simple it is. Docker run, you already know run. What is a run? Save in the sense to save the images. Okay, save one or more images as a tar archive. Okay, save and load will work together. Load, import and export work together. Save and load will work together. Okay, search in the sense before downloading the image, if you want to search for an image in the Docker Hub, then we need to use Docker search and the image name. Okay, start in the sense, let us say I want to know the image which is present for Jenkins. Docker search Jenkins. See, these many images we have for Jenkins in the Docker Hub. It is up to you which one you want to download. But this is the official one. Okay, you can see here official. Okay, okay, that is all about search. Start, you know, to start the container if it is already stopped. Stat in the sense statistics of the container. Okay, so let's say how much memory used, how much CPU used, everything it will show you. Docker stats. Okay. So this is the container ID, name of the container, how much CPU percentage used, memory usage, and what is the limit. Okay, memory percentage usage, and this it is in the form of percentage right now. Network input and output transmission, block input and output transmission. How many process IDs are running in the background? So only one process running in the background. Okay, that is all about your stats of the container. That is all about stats. Stop in the sense if you want to stop your container. Once it is stopped, if you want to start, we need to use start option here. Tag in the sense this one also will come when you want to create a duplicate images. I'll tell you this also. So totally six options. Okay, that we'll discuss. Top in the sense before without logging into the container, if you want to see the current running process in the live information of your process and everything in the container, then we need to use top. Docker top, then let's see. See, I told you, right? I mean, in the stats, we got only one process running in the container, right? So this is the only process which is running. Okay, in the container. And then unpause, you already seen it. Update. Update, I already told you, right? Let us say you have created a container, and if you forgot to give a port forwarding, then we need to use an update. Not only port forwarding, CPU, memory limit, block, input and output, transmission, everything you can give from here. Okay. If you want to see the version of the Docker, then Docker. And we have wait. So let's see. See, block until one or more containers stop, then print their exit codes. Okay, see. Docker wait. Let us say Sudamchi is the container ID. Is a problem for everyone or only for Rahul? What about Suresh? Can you hear me?
Yes, Sudham. I don't have any problem.
Okay, Rahul is facing some issue. Rahul, can you please disconnect and reconnect because there is no problem for other people, so it's better you reconnect. So Docker wait doesn't block anything and it doesn't print any exit code because these are running containers. Okay. So if there is a stopped container, then it might print the exit code. Okay. So that is all about your Docker wait, but we don't use in real time. Okay. So now there are few options which we have not discussed. That is attach, build,
Login, logout.
and login, logout, and then tag. Okay. So these are the options which we have not discussed. So let us come one after the other. So I will come from bottom. So let us see what is tag. Tag in the sense, let us say you want to create a target image from the source image. It's like clone. Do you know what is the meaning of clone, right? So using one particular machine, you will try to clone it in the sense using that particular VM only, we will try to create another VM, a same copy of that particular VM, but both should be present. If you delete the main VM, it doesn't access your existing VM. So that is interlink which is present in the Docker. Similarly, if you want to create an images copy of the image from the source images, we need to use tag. So let us see that. Docker images. Okay. So now I will try to create an image out of it. It is the same image, but I will create with my own name. So Docker tag Ubuntu 14.04. Then I will give like my repository your name, and then I will give Ubuntu. Okay. Now you can see the IDs are same. Okay. In the sense the images are same, but the names are different. Repositories are different. Okay. This is my repository. Okay. So this will help you in order to upload the images to your own repository. See, if you want to upload to the images to the own repository, then the name should be the login name. Okay. Here it should be the login name slash image name and then the tag. That is what the representation we need to give when you are uploading the images to the your own Docker Hub. Okay. So let me show you how to upload these images to my Docker Hub. So that is all about tag, nothing much. Okay. So just to create a target image from the source image, like a clone copy of it. So
So
let me show
Sudham,
you. Yeah.
uh, instead of Ubuntu, we can give any other name, Dubareti
Ah,
slash any other name.
let's say I will give like two dot. Let's assume whatever it is. You can give the name whatever you want.
Okay, got
Got
it.
it?
Yep.
So let's see what is Docker Hub, and I hope I already shown you. But anyways, log into my Docker Hub. Okay, and see what are the images I have till now in my own hub. So this is the image which I have. Let me delete it. Actually, I don't want to maintain this. Settings, delete. Now my repository is empty. Okay, so now I want to update a image to my this particular Docker Hub. Okay, so let's see what I need to do. So here I need to log into my Docker Hub account from here itself. So let's see how to do that. As of now, look at this. I don't have any hidden files related to Docker. Okay, So Docker login. Here it is asking me the username. Okay, so username is nothing but my username here. Password, you will not be able to see it. You can see now I have successfully logged into my Docker Hub account. Okay, your passwords will be stored in unencrypted in this particular directory. So now you can see there is a hidden file which is a hidden directory which is created, that is Docker. See, previously we don't have this particular .docker. So under the .docker we'll have a JSON file. This JSON file will store my credentials. This JSON file will store my temporary credential. You can see here, this is my token, which I authenticated. This will contain my username, passwords, and all. Okay. So this is how I used. So let's, okay, whatever it is. Okay, let's try to push the image which I have right now to my Docker Hub registry. So
Uh,
Docker,
s- so the
push.
so that
Yeah,
credentials can be decrypted using any tools. Is it any security violation,
I
something like that?
think there is a tool called, let me use this one. I think this is the tool which we use. Actually, I don't know whether it works or not. Let's see. So this is the tool which I use, Decode. You can see this is my username and this is my password. Okay, you can decrypt using base64 tool, which is present in Linux operating system.
Okay.
Then you can see my password right now.
Yep.
So this is my password and this is my username. Okay,
Okay.
not to log into
Okay.
my Docker. Okay. So now let's see the images, and I want to push this particular image to my Docker Hub account. So what I will do, Docker push, okay, and you need to give the thing, colon 2.16. You can see here it is pushing to which repository, docker.io, my repository name, and then it is pushing ansible dot. So you can say now it is preparing to push. So now it is successfully pushed. And how will you verify it? Just refresh this. You can see here. Okay, this is how I pushed. Now let us try to delete all the images. Okay, there is a container running with this particular images, so I cannot delete it. Yeah, obviously these containers are running from the background. So what I will do, Docker, I will first, okay, it doesn't matter for me to maintain the Ubuntu images. Okay, so these images are available and these are like interlinked to this particular images. So that's the reason I'm not able to delete it. You can see here, all the images IDs are same. Okay, so now I will try to download the same image. So what I need to do is like, okay, I will stop the containers.
Even specifying forcibly also the
That
running
doesn't
containers.
delete. That doesn't. When there is a container running using this image, it doesn't allow you to delete.
Okay, got it.
So now I don't have any images right now. Okay, even I need to delete this one. Okay. Okay, whatever it is. So now I don't have any image related to this particular image. Okay, if you want to download, either you can see the details and see how what command I need to execute, or directly because it's already you pushed it, right? So now this particular images are pulling from Docker Hub because I logged into my Docker Hub account. Okay, error response on latest. Oh, sorry, I need to give 2.6. I need to give the tag. Actually, here it is not showing the tag. Why? Here maybe. Yeah, tag is 2.16. Not 2.6, it is 2.16. See, downloading newer image, which is already done. So you can see here, Docker images. Now you can see the image has been downloaded from the Docker Hub. Now, if I use Docker logout, you will log out from the your own Docker Hub account. See, now the credentials will be deleted. Yes, sir. Should be deleted. See, removing login credentials from. I think it should delete actually. Yeah, you can see there is no authentication. There is no authentication here. Okay. See, you cannot decode the code. What is the username and password? Okay. So that is all about login and logout. So when you log into your Docker Hub, obviously that particular command will try to, if you use Docker pull images, that image will try to pull from the your own Docker registry. Okay. Okay. So that is what we try to do. So then the other command is, yeah, directly we need to come to kill images push. Tag is done. Now which is the push is done already. So login logout is done, and then we have the main commands like attach and build. Okay, so let's see what is attach. Oh, attach already covered. Build and commit. Okay, so that is what we have. I will clean up my server. So my server is clean right now. I don't have any images. I don't have any containers running in the background. Okay, so this is what I have. I don't have anything right now. So let's try to create one new container, and I will install whatever I want. I will convert that container into image. For that we use Docker commit. So let's see what we need to do. So Docker run, okay, hyphen DDI, just what name I don't want to give. Hmm, I don't want to use port forwarding also. I want to create a container with my own port forwarding. Hmm, just create a container, okay, whatever it is. So if image is not available, then it will try to download the image and then it will create a container. Okay, so now let's see the container which is already created. So let us log into that. Now update. So now I will try to install Nginx web server. The service. Not running. Let's start. It's running right now. If we use curl localhost, one is not available, just install. You can see you got the welcome to Nginx page. So your Nginx is working fine right now. So now I want to exit from the container. Okay. So I want to exit from the container and I want to convert this particular container into image. Okay. So for that, what will you do? Docker, okay, commit. If you don't know the options, just give help. In the sense, we need to give the container which you want to convert into image and then they give the repository and tag. So how will you do that? Docker commit. There's a container name test. Let's say I want to add author in the sense who has created this image, just to give a name. So I'll just give like this. Okay. Then like message, if you want to give some message, let us say hmm, okay. So that is a message which I've used. Okay. By default, your container will be paused when it is trying to convert into a image. Okay. This container will be paused till the container got created into image and then it will unpause automatically. So no need to do. It is a default. You can see here default true. It is already enabled, so no need to do anything from our end. So now give the um, name of the repository, what you want to create, like um, beautiful. Just I gave like that. Creating a new image from the container. Docker commit requires at least one or more load arguments. What I missed? Oh, okay, I got it. Give here. Increase the image. Now you can see it is got created. So let's see. Docker images. Okay. So now you got it right. So I have created an image already from this. So let us try to delete the container which we already have. Okay. So Docker rm -f, let us say test. Okay, I have removed it. Now I will try to remove the image. What is the image? Just I will try to remove the base image. That is Docker rmi -f to 14.04. Now this image got filled. Okay, now this using this image, if I try to create a container, in that container I need to have nginx by default and curl command also. Okay, let's see. So docker run -dti. I'll give my name whatever I want. Let's say my test server, nginx server. Okay, I can give whatever host name I want. I can give port forwarding also. 80. Okay, and then yeah. So then give the image name. Hold on. Log into the now you can see. Now if I go to the browser 92 56.3, I need to give 8080. Maybe it doesn't display the website because maybe the nginx service is not started. So let's see that. It's running right now, but let us log into the so okay. Now if we try to refresh, it's working. So I didn't did anything in my container, right? So I have created a container. I have installed whatever the things are required to run your nginx, and after that I converted that particular container into image. So I deleted all the whichever containers which I have previously and the base image, everything I deleted. Now using that image, if I try to create a container, whatever I have done in that particular previous container will have the same thing in this container. Okay, so that's like saving your time of the developers. Let us say you're a developer. So in your company there are 100 people are developers. Now you are the only guy who knows the procedure to develop an application. So for that, you know what are the pre-requirements in order to run that application. So you have created one container and you have converted that container into image with that pre-requirements of the application. Now if someone uses the same image to create a container, everybody will get the pre-requirements. Now the developer doesn't require or face a problem in order to install the pre-requirements. That is advantage of using this kind of approach, converting your container into image. Is that clear or anything else? Did you understood this? Hope so.
Yes. Sudham,
Yeah.
in real time, do we create images from the production environment?
Yes, of course, we create.
So as when we create the images, so the
Hmm.
existing container would get paused for a few seconds, right?
Okay, so that you will do in non-business hours, right? Obviously,
Okay.
when you know that something is going to happen or something is going to be stopped for a few minutes or few hours, then you don't take a risk in the business hours, right? What are the things you do? You obviously the in the productions we do in non-business hours.
Okay. And you also said that we'll do a practical on port forwarding for Jenkins.
Yeah, 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 of course. You know the Jenkins, right? So I will show you how to install. You know what is Jenkins package installation and configuring the dashboard. Okay. So let us
Okay.
try to use Jenkins. I will pull the Jenkins. Let us search first. So this is the official one. So Docker pull Jenkins. So we have these many layers for this Jenkins. Obviously, the size of the image will be bit high. So now the image has been completed and downloading. You can see the image. What is that? 696 MB. It is. Okay. So it created 2 months ago, this image. So let's try to create a container using this image. Okay, Docker run fndti. Okay. So I need to give some name like Jenkins. Then I need to give some host name. It is not mandatory, but anyways. I need to use port forwarding, obviously 8080 or 8181. I'll give 8181 colon. Obviously, everybody know that Jenkins will be running inside the container with port number 8080. It is a Java. Okay, so Jenkins is running on Java package. So that's the reason the port number should be 8080. By default, it is. And now, since my base machine is already aligned with the 8080 port number with 80 in the Nginx, so that's the reason I give 8181. Okay, and then I need to give the actual Jenkins, and I need to give the restart policy. Restart always. Okay. Anything else I forgot? Port is important, and then restart policy is important, and the rest of the things are like just optional. Okay. Now I created Jenkins container. You can see it is running in the background. So what I need to do? Go to the browser, give the IP address colon 8181. So now we can see we got, see, this is the installation process. See, installing Jenkins, it's already done in the container. Okay. Now we need to configure the Jenkins. Okay. If you already know, I think the steps are like common. So let me copy, and I need to know the password. So this password, this file will be contained in the inside the Jenkins container. So docker exec hyphen ti. Mm, Jenkins is my container, and I want to execute cat and the file name. So this is the password. So without logging to the container only, I'm just trying to pull the data. Continue. Never. I don't know, save the password. So now this Jenkins is running in the container. Okay, my container is Jenkins, which I've created. So install the plugins. So if you want, you can see the stats. Docker, uh, stats, and Jenkins. Now you can see the statistics of the Jenkins. See what is the memory utilization, block utilization. See memory utilization, CPU utilization. You can see live information. One see 22 percentage. How many processes are running in the background? 42 processes are running in the background. This is the memory usage, process usage. Memory is like 13% used because it is trying to install something. And CPU utilization is also high because there is some process running in the background. So workspace cleanup is not installed. We'll see. But that is not big important for us right now. If you are not getting installed, maybe because they are not supported for this particular container image. Okay, so no need to bother about it. Later on, we can install.
So Sudham, we can configure and manage the entire Jenkins from the container also.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So I am stopping the stats right now.
Hey Sudham, this is Raj here.
Hi, Raj.
Hey, this is my first class. I'm trying to catch up with you on this. So
Okay.
I'm not sure whether I'm getting this point right at the right point, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Go
can we
ahead.
have the discussion later? Because uh, we are trying to step into DevOps, and in our office, we are trying to get Kubernetes with Git. So I'm
Okay.
trying to understand because you're going on with Dockers and
Okay.
Kubernetes. So
Yeah.
what is the difference between these two? I know the Kubernetes is the same thing, but it's only the repositories that we are. Is a difference, or how is that?
So Docker is like where it is a tool which is used to create your containers. Okay. So it is a
Okay.
standalone. In the sense you are trying to install on one particular single server and you are trying to create a
Uh-huh.
containers. Suppose
Uh-huh.
you have multiple Docker machines where all the machines having a Docker installed. So how will you manage these many machines together?
Okay.
That is
Okay.
where your Kubernetes will come into picture. Kubernetes
Okay.
will integrate all the nodes together into one platform, and then you can manage from that particular platform itself using
Mhm.
orchestration. So, what is
Okay.
orchestration? Orchestration in the sense writing the YAML files and specifying what you want to do, and then that YAML file is passed as an input from the Kubernetes, so that it will take the inputs and it will give
Mhm.
it to the Docker in the background, and then it will create a containers.
Okay. 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 Because
So Docker
I.
is called as containerization, and Kubernetes is called as orchestration of your containers.
Okay. Okay. So because I didn't
Yeah.
much work because these things are still going on, I don't have much idea of how
Okay.
it has been going on. And because
Mhm.
only thing uh, from my part, company part is we are trying to get a dashboard where we can manage the entire clouds, all the private clouds or the public clouds. We are
Which
coming up with a
dashboard?
project.
Which dashboard?
We are coming up with
Your
Gardener.
own dashboard, right?
Yes, that's Gardener. SAP
Okay. Fine.
is trying to
Okay.
implement that.
Mm-hmm.
So we are in the process of getting the Gardener dashboard for all private and public clouds. Going
Mm-hmm.
forward, they want to give it as an open source kind of.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure how the things are going to work on this from my end.
Okay.
So I was a little bit confused because the Docker thing, and I never came across because developers are working on this.
Okay. So it's fine. It's okay. Like Docker, it's like base in order to create a container. So even
Okay.
Kubernetes also requires some Docker in the background, but it
Okay.
is managing multiple Docker machines together under one platform. Not only
Okay.
that, it has so many things. Okay, we can use GitHub as an integration. We can
Mhm.
use so many other things. Okay,
Okay.
RBAC policies, like setting some rules, saying that this person should not get the information and this person should get this particular information. So
Okay.
everything, we have a lot more things in Kubernetes. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So if I'm just curious to know what kind of an
Mhm.
environment you guys use in your daily life.
We are developing OpenStack over cloud. Okay, that too in
OpenStack.
on Kubernetes. Yeah, I think
Okay.
you heard about OpenStack, which is an open
Yeah,
source
yeah, I
community
know.
for cloud.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that OpenStack till now it is running on virtual machines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we are trying to create on containers.
On the
That is what
containers.
we are achieving. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That is what we are developing in the project. So that's the reason I'm trying to explain what are the things I have in my project. Okay.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, because we have been trying
Mm-hmm.
to, because I'm from the system admin with Windows and VMware. So
Okay.
one of our thing we are trying to get PKS,
Okay.
VMware PKS in the
Okay.
environment. That is our core. That's what speaking not
Okay.
to have any, not to go on to the open sources kind of.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. It's okay. So just concentrate on this, understanding this Docker and Kubernetes, then you will understand what is the requirement of your project. Okay. So then
Mm-hmm.
you can analyze and understand, okay, how this particular things will fit into my company and my requirements. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, got it. And one more thing, the other question I had is for the Kubernetes, do we have any standard, or do you have any curriculum like from Kubernetes that has been there in the syllabus kind of?
Yeah, of course. Of course, if you look at the visual path, this particular perspective, you will understand
Mm-hmm.
what are the things we are going to learn, and there are other things also which are not added into it. So which are not
Okay.
added into the prospector. I need to just change it. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
most of the things are covered in it. And apart from that, we are trying to cover all the resources which we have in Kubernetes, like pod, services, config map,
Mm-hmm.
secrets, and
Mm-hmm.
deployment, replication controller, replication set. Okay, and
Okay.
then we have service account. Okay, RBAC rules. There are so many other things in Kubernetes. So that's the reason we are taking a long period of 45 days to complete the syllabus.
Okay, okay. Got it. My main focus here is that basically I have to do the certification also in Kubernetes
We
by
have
end of.
CKA certification, Certified Kubernetes Architect.
Mhm,
Okay, so that
mhm,
certification you can complete.
mhm. Okay, okay. So because my focus is towards that,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Okay.
because that is where our company is trying to focus. Everybody should have this get certification for CKA.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Okay, we can do it.
Okay.
That's fine. So, okay. So I'll help you
Okay.
in how to do that particular concentrate on that particular exam and all. So which
Mhm.
other things need to be done? Okay.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So this is the Jenkins which I installed from Container. Now my dashboard is set up ready. Is that fine?
Yes, Siddham. Got it.
You got it right? Okay. So similarly, you can create other containers and you can integrate it to this particular Jenkins master. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So the last topic which is left in this particular Docker is nothing but Docker build it is. So how to build our own images from Dockerfile. So that is bit important topic. So I don't want to break it now. So we'll continue tomorrow. Not tomorrow actually. It is on Monday. Monday again we'll continue at 7:30. Okay. So that is Dockerfile. Meanwhile, if you have time, you can go through it and see what is Dockerfile and all. Okay. Anyways, I will start from Monday. Okay. So we'll discuss about what is Dockerfile, what are the things we need to write in Dockerfile, how to build an image using Dockerfile. So everything we can see from there. Okay. So with that, we will complete our Docker and then we'll go to the next phase.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you all. So
Yep.
let's
Thank
meet
you.
on Monday. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Siddham.